Hello, Chris Turner here, firefighter and technical advisor with Brimstone Fire Protection. As you're undoubtedly aware, the amount of lithium-ion battery-powered products in the US and abroad is steadily rising every year. And unfortunately, with that rise in lithium-ion batteries, we're seeing a real rise in lithium-ion battery fires as well. So one of the things that we at Brimstone Fire Protection are really striving to do is to make products, lithium-ion battery containment bags, blankets, etc., that'll help protect you in your home, your workplace, your school, wherever those lithium-ion batteries might be, and therefore wherever those fires might occur. Now, if you've never seen one of these battery fires in person, perhaps you've seen some videos like this one, and you can see that they're an extremely energetic fire. There's showers of sparks going everywhere, there's jet flames potentially, and even battery ejections that could go 50 or more feet away. You can also see that there's a large amount of smoke that's created during these fires. And that smoke is most likely flammable and is also most likely toxic. So if you have anyone that's in these structures during these fires, there's a major health hazard. And if you have the right concentration of that flammable gas with that ignition source, you could have a vapor cloud ignition or perhaps even an explosion. And we've seen those concentrations can actually blow doors off of garages and things like that. So you can see that having one of these fires in your workplace, your business, your school, definitely we hope that never happens. But if it does, we want you to be prepared with some products that can help put that fire out or at least contain it to allow you to escape, evacuate the building, allow time for the fire department to get there and handle it and things like that. If you're affiliated with a fire department, you might already have blankets that are specifically designed for electric vehicle fires. And those blankets are typically a one-layer solution. They cover the vehicle, they help exclude free oxygen, and they do a good job at snuffing that fire out and kind of keeping it contained from those sparks and jet flames and projectiles. However, what we've learned at Brimstone is that that one-layer solution, if you're going to put a blanket directly on a battery pack, a battery module where you have direct battery to blanket contact, there's such an intense heat and that blowtorch effect of that battery burning, it might just burn a hole right in that blanket. And that's why we've developed the Preventer line of blankets, a heavy-duty industrial type blanket that's got multiple layers, it's thickened so that it'll hold up to that intense heat of a direct battery to blanket contact. So now remember, we're trained firefighters that are deploying this blanket over this particular battery module. And this, by the way, is a full Tesla module, nearly full state of charge, 85+% state of charge, and it's burning extremely violently still under this blanket. Now we still have a lot of smoke that's being created. In our burn facility here, we have large fans that evacuate a lot of that smoke, and we're wearing respiratory protection at all times, as well as our full bunker gear. So you're not going to want to hang out if you've deployed this blanket. You're not going to want to stay in that room. We are trained to do so, and we're monitoring the event at all times. Now we've also seen that these blankets, being a little bit more on the permeable side, can do a good job at slowing the velocity of the smoke that's coming out of these battery packs, which can let the ventilation that is going on in the room be more effective. And that'll help decrease the amount of buildup of those toxic and or flammable gases. And that also allows more time for evacuation of the building. At Brimstone, we have learned through the testing of various fire blanket materials that using a permeable blanket in these types of incidents is preferable because while the blanket is limiting the free oxygen and therefore slowing down the battery's fire potential, it is not trapping the smoke and vapors under it, which could allow those gases to accumulate. Any significant buildup of gases could displace the blanket or potentially allow for a large vapor cloud ignition underneath it. While a vapor cloud ignition is still possible, if there are any open spaces under the blanket, the lower concentration of gases means that any ignition that does occur would be much less significant. Now remember, there is no cooling that's going on underneath this blanket. So this entire module will burn. All 400 plus cells of this module are going to burn. But what's happening is that the blanket is containing those ejections, it's containing the sparks, it's containing the ejections. So overall, this is still a much, much safer condition. We're not seeing the fire spread to the 50 plus feet of what we might see if it was totally uncontained. So obviously, if you're going to deploy one of these blankets or other containment products over a lithium-ion battery that's on fire or starting to get some fire potential built up, first and foremost, we want you to be safe. So make sure that you've called 911, deploy the blanket as quickly and as effectively as you can, and then exit as soon as you can. While we are geared toward making lithium-ion battery products that can help put these fires out and contain them, first and foremost, we want you to be safe. If you do decide to deploy these blankets, however, make sure that you've got a good ground seal around the edges that helps exclude that oxygen and doesn't provide areas for those ejections to come out, and it'll keep that fire more calm and more controlled while A, you can evacuate the structure, and B, while the fire department can arrive. So if you have any questions about the Brimstone line of lithium-ion battery fire products or any concerns at all, please feel free to reach out to us, and overall, please be safe.